Hello, this is your boy Dre. Last time on Fine Time, I expressed my opinion about Sonic 3 and Knuckles being too long and too uneven. Since its original airing, I have been reminded that Sonic 2 is also of considerable length. In light of this new information, I would like to issue a correction at this time. Sonic 2 is also too long. Thank you for listening to Fine Time. Hey everybody, you like video games? Well, I'm glad you do. It's your boy Dre. We're here on the thing called Fine Time. I'm here with the Steve. I'm here with the Kevin. I feel like everybody should just be addressed as the in front of their name. It's very, what do you feel about that, the Kevin?
What is, this isn't a Nintendo Direct presentation.
Well, I mean, it could be.
I think you gotta maybe just flesh it out to the Steve podcaster and the Kevin podcaster, if that's where you're going.
It could be a Nintendo Direct if we have one last thing.
Yeah.
Do you have one last thing, Steve?
Let's just reach into my pants here. No, I'm just kidding. But
no, show me.
We can't ever get 60 seconds in without a penis joke.
Oh, it's not a joke. That penis is no joke. The fuck is this show? All right. Save us, Steve. Tell us about what you've been playing.
Well, my PlayStation 5 Chronicles continue. And despite Kevin's suggestions of, you should play Horizon Zero Dawn and Horizon Forbidden West in 2 weeks and talk about them both on the podcast. That'll be fun for everyone and won't drive you crazy at all. I decided to meet him halfway and just to start playing Horizon Zero Dawn at a more reasonable pace, because I already have it for free.
Just do casual or story mode or something, and you just like.
I have false accusations. I never even said this.
I have some self-respect, and it's just how some people chose to interpret how you responded to, well, which of these games do I play next, Kevin?
Steve has been sassy to me all week, and it's clearly carrying over to the show. Yeah,
there is some, you have some unresolved issues you guys need to work out right now. Okay, I'm glad you guys had this little talk. Go on, Steve.
So, yeah, remember 2017 when this had to share the same weekend as Breath of the Wild and everyone just talked about one in comparison to the other? Or was that just me on the internet in 2017?
No, I remember. It happened, and it was kind of warranted also a little bit.
I mean, I'm trying to let it be on its own, but it was very hard to ignore when the first thing the game decides to do is drop me down a hole and let me find an ancient piece of technology that I'm going to be using for the rest of the game. And that's the kind of thing I noticed right away, because, right after that in Breath of the Wild, you kind of get to invent your own little tutorial on the Great Plateau. Here, no. We gotta... You literally have a dad who walks you around and shows you what you gotta do for about an hour or so.
I like how he has dad face, by the way. I don't even really remember his name, but it's like, what is the ultimate dad? They just gave him the face.
I'm playing this game. She says his name every 2 minutes, and I can't remember it right now.
It's like Rust, or it's something that sounds like Rust. Rust, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for triggering us there.
But Rust for short.
Rusty. Rusty.
Yeah, they make you... They do teach you everything you need to know, but they lead you along, they're literally pulling you along by the hand, sneak around the grass like this, aim the arrow in the face like that, and you really don't have a lot of agency until everything goes to hell an hour and a half in the game, which I guess is fine, because we gotta sort of teach you how somewhere, but I think this could have done with a sort of Bravely Default situation where they sent us a demo that laid down some of this beforehand. I don't know. There was no elegant solution here, but the way the intro was not terrific.
No, I mean, I agree, but I feel that way about every AAA game, though. So that's just me. I never like when they do it. I understand it's a thing nowadays, but I will not dings for Horizon for it specifically because it's everything.
I mean, I guess it just felt harder here. But I mean, once they let you actually play the game, I'm having fun with it. Combat's fine enough. There's a emphasis on more ranged attacks and the traps and things, which, I mean, it is all those things, work the way they're supposed to. But I also find it that it's odd when it comes to crafting and trading. It's also fun. You have the metal shards, which act as your currency and the basis of most of your ammo, but I don't see why I need different weapons to use to build different arrows. like why can't I just learn how to make different arrows as the game goes on and make better bows for it instead of saying, okay, this bow can only fire these two kinds of arrows. What if I would just fire the regular arrow? No!
I get what you're saying from like from a logic perspective, but I think that's the game's way of forcing you to experiment with some of the other weapon types, because one weapon can only have 2 or 3 elemental ammunitions that go with it. So then if you want something that has frost and it's not part of your bow, then you got to use the blast sling.
Yeah, that's my thoughts exactly. It doesn't make any sense, but video.
I mean, I get it, but why not just hide the people or recipes on how to make that shit around the world instead of tying it to specific weapons? Because now I have to hoard these weapons in order to use specific ammo, and I only have so much room in my pockets.
I feel like if they did that, though, it would feel a little too like, go find the water element, go find the wind element. You know what I mean? It'd feel like way too like if they made you do it that way. But, I mean, maybe it wouldn't, I guess.
Not only that, but I know just the way I usually play games, I feel like if they didn't force you to do that, I would be the kind of person that would learn to use, just the bow, if the bow works in all situations, and I would stick with it. I wouldn't force myself to kind of step outside my comfort zone, but it kind of incentivizes you to do that. So for me, I think that worked well, but I get why it doesn't work for everybody.
Also, the rope caster kind of sucks.
I like it. Is that the thing where you put it on the 2 points and make like a little tripwire?
No, that's the trip caster. The trip caster I like. The trip caster I like. The rope is, here, bitch, have some rope, and maybe they'll fall over. Most times they won't.
What do? You try to lasso them? I genuinely don't remember what this is.
Well,
I mean, it must have sucked.
To the ground.
It's a rope gun. You shoot rope at the enemy, and they're supposed to fall over. But it takes me like 5 out of the 6 shots from the fall over, and by the time I'm doing that, I might as well have just shot you with the arrow or something, or the nail gun, which is another fun weapon.
But aren't you supposed to shoot the enemy and then shoot the ground to like tie them down?
Is that how that works? I thought that's how that worked at first, but then that really wasn't doing nothing. I was just losing ammo that way.
I guess I've never used it because I don't remember this mechanic at all. So
I mean, I'm still waiting on something for the sling to be useful for, too, because everything gores me before I can actually use it. I'm like, okay, stand still, Mr. President. And then, oh, okay, I died again. You know what? Back to my spear.
I liked the sling.
I'm sure I'll find the more proper uses for them later, but right now I'm just not. I've been goofing around with quests, and I'm in Garja, I think it's called, the desert region now. I've been goofing around with quests and trying to get to know the people of the world. And speaking of getting to know the people of the world, why is the first thing I type into the search engine after Horizon Zero Dawn forced diversity? You people are monsters in internet.
I've never. We've talked about the diversity on here before. I never heard any criticism of it online. I guess I'd never looked for it, but
here I am trying to figure out how like an ammo whatever like a crafting situation works or a storage solution or something, and that's all that's the first thing that comes up in the autocomplete. I'm like, come on.
People are insane, man. You heard me talk about it in regards to Forbidden West, but it obviously applies to this game too. I'll reiterate it, I think it's great what this game does, and it's like, it's a snapshot of America, and you're doing tribalism and stuff that is like, that could very easily be like offensive to Native Americans or First Nations people in general. Like that could have gone down a really bad path, right? And it didn't. It's really cool. And that should be cool too. Whatever. People, you're right. People are monsters.
Here's the story reason why that happened is because all of the racists didn't get vaccinated and they didn't survive the apocalypse.
If only.
No, I do have a head theory of what Aloy's deal is, but I'm not gonna guess that here. Speaking of, she's supposed to be this wilderness lady. Why can't she climb rocks that are half her height?
I mean, look, if I was going to compare to anything from Breath of the Wild, it was that. That was the thing that struck me when I first talked about the game when I played it a couple years ago.
Because I was in a scenario where, okay, there's a bandit village, but I'm on it from this side already, so I'm like, okay, so maybe I'll climb this way, and they'll never see me coming that way, or not, because I can't climb these waist-high I can't jump as high as these waist-high rocks.
Yeah, that was the thing. I mean, look, when you come out days before Breath of the Wild, one game does one thing, and one game does a lot better. It's really hard to not compare.
The climbing on Forbidden West is substantially improved. So
it is. It's still not perfect, but it's much better.
Look, I'm having fun. It's not going to make me stop playing. Like other games where I said, "Fuck this, we're not doing this anymore." But although going back to people that make me sick, I did this scenario where I had to track down this woman being sold into slavery by General Zaid. I'm sure this might be lost on Kevin, but I don't know if even Andre is going to remember. But to me, he looked an awful lot like Geraldo Rivera.
Oh, I know Geraldo. Come on.
They know Geraldo is banned in Canada.
Do they know him? I thought they were safer from him up there, way up north.
I can visualize him.
I did not. I would have never thought about that, but now that you mention it, that will be all I think about when I see.
I mean, he's standing there being like, "They are mistaking me for someone else. I have never done these things to these people." And then half hour later, when I'm in the region and rescuing the people, like, "I knew you were going to be nothing but trouble." Like, all right, here's the nail gun to the face, I guess.
All right, yeah.
So yeah, I'm having fun with Horizon Zero Dawn. I might even finish it someday. Who knows how much more I'll get distracted by along the way.
All right. Cool. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I figured you would. I kind of figured it was a slam dunk for you. I guess I'll take over here. So naturally, when one gets a new laptop, as I did in January, what do? You play almost 20-year-old PC games on it, because of course. So, like, when I got this thing back in January, I played through E6 on Steam, and I hadn't played this game since it came out, basically, for PS2 in 2005, like February 2005. Like, I remember distinctly, I remember buying E6 and Tekken 5 or whatever for PS2, because they came out like damn near the same day, and I had a vacation week, so that's all I did for a week. How's that for a timestamp, everybody? So it's interesting with E6 because there hadn't been. It came out in 2003, only for PC. The PS2 version was actually ported and financed by Konami because Falcom was really hurting, I think. This is like a 2.5D top-down, action RPG like most East games are. But this was at a time...
Just a second. I saw this before and this was bugging me. This was actually ported by Konami, or they just published it here?
I'll explain more in a second. You will hear. So, like, at a time when we weren't making those kind of games, Falcom was making this. Like, the production levels were just not up to snuff. Like, at all is like pre-rendered. A lot of things in this game are pre-rendered, like pretty much every sprite. It's weird. You have the music production is like top notch, but it's like, I don't know, man. Like, it's almost like, okay, we really desperately need an Ys game to be a hit. But yeah, as Steve was inquiring about, the PS2 version was ported to consoles by Konami, and not just ported, but like produced by, meaning that the PS2 version was greatly enhanced. Voice acting. They made all the characters into 3D models instead of like pre-renders. They really it feels like Konami finished the game for them is the thing. And like every single line is voiced, even every NPC, every like piddly shit character. Now there's not a whole bunch of NPCs. This isn't Shenmue or something, but like Konami went the extra mile to do that because that's kind of what you expect from a production like that. But that's why this PC version kind of falls a little flat for me, because I was used to the PS2 version. This PC version lacking all those features. Look, it's still great. It's still E6. E6 is a game that I've had a lot of fondness for and still do. This revisit was worth it. I just can't help thinking about the PS2 version, though, and wishing they could like update it. Because another game I'm going to talk about here, Ys Oath and Felghana, which I am in the middle of playing, that's published by Xseed. They, in like sometime last year, they updated that version to be the console, not console. I guess I originally played it on PSP and like with voice acting and stuff, like in 2009. That version, as of like 2020, is now the version on Steam. They like updated it to be so, which is like amazing. Right? I kind of wish they could do that for E6, but Konami, everybody. they're never going to allow such a thing, unfortunately. I don't know. I'm really enjoying playing through these old Ys games. It's been so long. They really hold up. One thing I really like about Oath and Felghana, it's a remake of Ys 3, Oath and Felghana, if anyone doesn't know. One of my favorite additions to it is that you could pick not just like the new soundtrack for it, but the PC-88 soundtrack, and my favorite, the X68000 soundtrack, which is just incredible. These two guys in our chat, I've been trying to inundate them with this stupid music overnight while they're sleeping, and just like, I'm sure it doesn't take, but like, I tell you what, this is just great stuff.
Claims it should be the national anthem.
I didn't respond,
yes.
But it does sound cool, but I mean, look, we all know my response to this. That I'd much rather try the original side-scrolling Black Sheep version on a certain app, but you know.
Well, look, I mean, I like Ys 3 Super Nintendo as well. That's the first Ys game I ever played. That's a lot of people's first, because that's the first one that was super visible to us on a platform we actually had here, not TurboGrafx CD. Right? I mean, like, we had it, but you had to be rich, right? So, like, that was some real enthusiast shit. Oh my god, can you imagine if we were like this age in like 1988? Do you know how much money we'd be spending on like like importing like PC Engine CD games and crap between us? Like
in 1988, I don't even know if I'd know what a PC 88 is.
If we were this age in Steve, follow my crappy example, okay? God.
No, I'm just saying I'm remembering. Okay, never mind.
God. No, I'm having a lot of fun playing these. The voice acting in Oath and Felghana is so cheesy. I mean, if you thought Dogi was like a weirdo in like other games you played, Steve, just wait till you get a load of this. This is like...
Well, I'll get there I'm sure I'll get to something like that someday. I'm still redoing Ys 1 and 2 on a PC Engine Mini.
How's that going, by the way?
Was nice enough to... I don't have a lot of desk time lately, but, you know, I'll get there someday.
Where are you at?
Where am I at? I'm in one of the... I'm in that... I guess they're sending me in that second cave in the first game. I don't remember the first... the one where if you go in the first time, they just kill you dead right away.
I feel like it's every cave in the game, but especially if you're not.
I also don't remember the first one being terribly low. I also remember most of the game being in the tower. So
yes,
the first one and being the tower itself. So whatever.
Yeah, the half the game's in the tower. which is fine because it's one of the best songs of all time. Anyway, that's what I've been doing, besides a little something we'll get to in a second. But first, Kevin.
Well, I don't know if I want to go now. I'm feeling sheepish.
You got it.
Oath of Felghana is a remake of Ys 3, if anybody didn't know that already.
I was saying in case you didn't know.
This is obviously very common information if you don't know that.
Two great copies of the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis versions of Ys 3. 93 and 89 respectively.
I'm going to be completely honest. I didn't even know there was a Sega Genesis version. I feel like you might.
I don't know if it came out here, but it's on the list. It's when I was looking it up the other week. It was on the list of ports they made.
I know of Turbo CD and Super Nintendo. That's about it.
Well, I sure didn't know Oath of Felghana was the Ys 3 remake, so I guess I'm just a big old dummy.
Oh my god! He's going to be more mad at me now instead of you.
So I played the Stanley Parable, which came out on Switch as kind of, I should have wrote this down. It's got a subtitle because it's kind of a like remastered and expanded on version. I hate focusing on the price of a game as kind of the talking point here, because that value is so different for everybody. Depending on like how much $30 is worth to you, and then also like how much you expect to get out of a game. So it's very subjective, but I think I want to make a blanket statement here that $30 Canadian, so I would assume 25 American, seems way too high for what's here. It
is 25. I saw it on the eShop.
Yeah, it's an interesting experience. It's thought provoking, and especially for if you're interested in critically looking at game design, there's something interesting to see there. But there's only so much you can really do with it. Essentially, the whole shtick of the game is to play through this experience and make different choices and kind of go down these different paths, and it turns out radically different. It gets very cerebral and off the wall in a lot of these circumstances. So you just kind of play it and make different choices to tease out what you can get out of it. So it's interesting, and I'm sure it took a lot of work, but I definitely did not feel like I got my 30 Canadian dollars worth out of it, and I feel like most people would feel that way. So I think it's worth noting. And it is also it was originally a Half-Life 2 mod, and despite it having gone through multiple iterations up until this version, you can still see that in its DNA. So it's not like a shiny brand new game necessarily. And then before we move on to the next thing, I just want to make a brief note. I don't know if I've brought this up on this show or our previous creative endeavor before, but I have tried probably 6 times to finish Majora's Mask. It's one of 3 mainline Zelda games that I've never finished. And I really like the aesthetic of that game. I feel like I've personally bonded with it, but that I don't know, for some reason I really struggle to be able to get into that game. I'm gonna do it this time, so I'm gonna bring it up here so that you guys can hold me accountable. Okay. I feel like a real fucking a real greaser with.
How is this playthrough going, Kevin?
I don't know. I'm not hating it, but I can still feel like that. It's not that I don't understand this 3-day mechanic and kind of how it works and what stays around and what doesn't when you reset the time. It just feels messy to me. There's something about it that it's not frustrating. It's unsettling isn't even the right word. It just feels messy. I don't like doing this reset, and I feel like I keep talking to these characters and hearing the same shit over and over, and it just I always feel like I don't have any incentive to see it through. The farthest I've got years ago was I think I finished the second dungeon in the in the Snow Goron area, and that's as far as I've got. So I don't know. I'm gonna see it through whether I want to or not this time.
I totally understand. That is the perfect description for it too, because the first a couple times I tried, I'm like, I don't get this. Messy is perfect. That's exactly what it feels like. It's like, okay, I guess I'm talking to this person again. I'm talking to this. At some point, it becomes like, okay, I've got to have like the real hook has to hook you, but that's like it resetting in 3 days or whatever and is not really much of a hook, or you better do this dungeon and like, you know what I mean? So like, so sometimes I felt like I had to force myself too. I like Majora's Mask just fine, but I can never call it one of my favorites just because it's a wild experiment, but it's a better experiment than a game.
That doesn't mean that it's bad.
I just,
I really like the tone, and it's darker, and it's just weird. And I feel like I have a lot of nostalgia for that game, despite it never having beat it. I really like the just the overall style of it. It's just the game itself pisses me off. So we'll see if maybe actually toughening up and seeing it through will make it stick. I'm going to turn it back over to you, Andre, because I feel like the next game deserves the hipster intro that we all know you're dying to give it.
Oh my god! I mean, I was going to try to not, but like, okay, I guess I've been Dane too. So last time on Fine Time, we played a little thing called Hollow Knight, or me and Steve did anyway. When we had our thoughts on it, and I was thinking like, hey, we're talking about action-adventure games here. You guys ever play Strider 2014? No? Okay, moving on. Guess what? We played Strider 2014. One of my personal favorites in the genre of the last decade. Nobody talks about it. Ever. And I want to explore why. Besides the fact that it's Strider, I know why. But and the guys here, Steve and Kevin, also played through it as well. I gave myself a refresh because it had been some years, so I basically remembered everything, but I wanted to just make sure, so I have also had a fresh playthrough, but these two are playing for the first time. So honestly, I want to start with one of you, just because I don't want to muck up the proceedings with my Striderness, because you guys know how Strider I am. But you know what? I want to start with you, Kevin. Why don't you give me your because to be honest, I don't even know if you guys like the game or not. I didn't even read your notes or nothing. So, you tell me what you thought.
You don't follow my Twitter where I... Never mind.
I was pleasantly surprised with the game, because after you brought it up and we decided to all have it as our book club game, I looked at some footage on YouTube, and I thought it looked a lot... it looked very, fast-paced beat-em-uppy to me, which is fine, but wouldn't necessarily be my thing. It definitely is a lot more quote-unquote action-adventure, which actually means Metroidvania in these terms, than the footage had led me to believe. Compared to other games of a similar ilk, the gameplay pacing is a lot different. It's very fast, and you're running through these environments fairly quickly. The combat is definitely fairly beat 'em up, so there's not a lot of stopping and getting bogged down by enemies, and there's probably less of an emphasis on exploration. The map just tells you where all of the hidden items are, so there's not a lot of digging deep to find that stuff. So it's nice because it gives the game its own identity. But I did feel like when I think about Super Metroid or Hollow Knight is a great example. The environments, I feel, for me, are very memorable. I can think of certain rooms in those games that have their own distinct personality, and I think that was kind of lost in Strider because of the fast pacing. I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. It is just where it kind of sets itself apart, and I do think that the game has a fairly generic art direction. So that kind of compounds that problem. Though I will say the boss design for a lot of these bosses is really cool. Overall difficulty seemed like it was fairly low, but some of the boss battles are not that easy.
They certainly are not.
I got stuck a few times, especially with that fucking bounty hunter guy.
Oh god, the I gotcha guy, which he doesn't say I gotcha in this game. So let me address that actually. So about the generic art design, I never really thought about it that way. I think you're kind of right. But the thing is about Strider is that you're moving from place to place so fast. The Strider, the arcade game, it's over in 20 minutes. It's a very short game, right? So there's nothing. So all these things you saw in the game, the big mechanical dragon, the Gravitron, the 3 Chinese ladies. All of those are in the original like arcade game.
You know what, Andre? I actually knew that because I'm so dedicated to the show that I downloaded it on the Capcom collection and I played through not all of but some of the arcade game. Actually, I probably spent maybe 20 minutes with it. Cool. But just to I seen the sprite version of the big like gorilla boss and the three ninja ladies. Yeah, so and that was actually that definitely, looking back on Strider 2014, I had more of an appreciation for it after kind of seeing where it had come from. Just a few small things I want to note. They have the thick ass border around the text at the bottom of the screen, and sometimes that stays on when you're playing, and it's so fucking annoying. That
I
definitely
think Steve also hates this
more than anything else.
Let me chime in for a second here. I very much appreciated them leaning into the neo-Soviet cheese of the original game, but when they're doing the megaphone shit. Attention, citizens, or whatever, and doing all that.
Come on, give us your best. No, you got to give us more than that.
Attention, citizens. Strider is coming through the city and slashing us all up. Stay indoors. Forget the border. There's the whole damn text box, and sometimes I'm trying to do Strider shit at the bottom of the screen, and
yes.
Like an option to turn off what the box itself. If you wanted to keep the voice going on as an aesthetic thing, okay, but maybe I only need to read the text the first time he says it.
And that box is like bright yellow opaque. Like it's not just kind of there. It's fucking hello.
I'm trying to stab all these guys at the bottom of the screen, and it's like, attention, citizens.
That is great news if the fucking text box is probably the worst part of the game. One other... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think that's kind of a remnant of... I think this game was originally planned for like PS3 and 360, kind of before we really figured out high definition, like kind of like what you can make small, what you need to like, you know what I mean? Because you know how like some games had like ridiculously small text because we're in HD, and it's like that's not necessary. And then some games didn't figure it out.
2022, and they're still fucking doing it.
but that text box is like it's huge, and the text in there is still small. The box does not need to be that fucking big.
It is weird. It didn't bother me that much, but I do agree with you guys. It wasn't that big a deal to me though. Anyway, go finish up.
One more thing I wanted to, and I'm not picking it apart for sure, but the final battle felt kind of just messy and a little. Kevin. I don't know. The gameplay normally is very tight. It handles very well. Everything you can play with a lot of precision, but once you get, and I don't want to, in case anybody listens to this and decides to play it, I don't want to give away too much spoilers, but just the movement in that final area makes it a lot more not vague as to what you're supposed to do, because it's easy to know what you're supposed to do. Just executing it just kind of throws you for a loop. It was a weird way to finish off the game.
I'm inclined to agree. The last boss was bullshit. I like when these games act as have these things act as a final exam. Here's how to, even when they're still challenging you, you got to use all the things you learn. And I feel like you really weren't doing that for the last fight so much as there's a lot of flashy lights, but it's these flashy lights that you're supposed to avoid.
And figuring out a mechanic that you had never interacted with throughout the entire game as the core focus of the final battle.
I might have to disagree here. I don't think the final boss was really that big a deal. I mean, you had all the Gravitron things, right? You had like I don't know, maybe at first like you could kind of be like, okay, where am I supposed to slash it, I guess?
Well, with Gravitron, you had a bigger room to play with. Here, you have Mario Galaxy small-ass globes, but on a 2D side-scrolling whatever, and we're, can I jump now? No. Can I jump now? Oh, now I can jump here. I was like, okay.
the Mario Galaxy comparison is apt.
Okay.
I like this game a lot. I didn't hate it, but if you're going to ask me why why everyone doesn't talk about Strider 2014 today, it's not any one thing. It's a bunch of smaller things.
Okay, but I doubt like a bad, like, I don't know. I mean, I can't believe we live in a world where like the Mummy fucking Demastered gets more talk than like Strider 2014. That's
Mummy Demastered was good.
Okay, and this isn't?
This is.
Okay, so like I don't know, man. Like,
you know what? I will agree. I will say that this game is definitely underrated. Looking back on it, I don't know why it didn't get more attention. There's a few things I can pick out, but I when we were first assigned this game by Andre, I was kind of like, okay, well, I'll play this for the show. And at the end of it, I was really glad I played it. I wouldn't have taken the initiative to play it on my own without that. But it was well worth my time.
I mean, I honestly wasn't expecting a reimagining of the NES game, because that is what the NES game was. They couldn't do Arcade Strider on the NES, so they made an action-adventure game out of it. I did not expect that at all, and I was very pleasantly surprised by this interpretation.
Only for us, by the way, which we found out. That game only came out in North America. The Strider NES. Yeah. So like it's really cool that they drew from that. And I like that NES game for what it is. It's almost like the Rygar thing, right? Where you just make a completely different action adventure console.
Same idea, yeah.
Yeah. What was I gonna again about the like locales or art direction or rooms. Again, though, in the Strider, like in the only time you get a break from that, and this is in the original game too, is the Battleship Balrog, right? Because you do that little mini section where you jump across you do that just like the arcade game, right? Near the end of the game, which is great. But like, that's the only time you get away from like the I almost said neo-fascist. That's not what I mean. Or maybe that is what I mean. The Russian city.
I did feel like it was kind of the colors were a little washed out for what it was. I mean, I also was playing both versions of the arcade game on Capcom and on Sega Genesis, Nintendo Switch Online, just cause. And, this was on PS3 and Xbox 360, and that was back when a lot of Western developers were like, what's good and gritty? Brown and muted colors. And I felt like we were at the very tail end of that here.
Yes.
And it shows, and it's upsetting to me because Strider himself, and especially his scarf, and the bosses all look pretty good in comparison, but I feel like the backgrounds and mooks, all the mooks you're killing are just drab.
It's a product of its time. For sure. I mean, you can tell it was made in 2014. You may have thought from the way it looked maybe more like 2011, right? But like, yeah, it's a product of its time.
The setting may be similar in the arcade version, but I feel like the colors popped a lot more, and it's very industrial in 2014. Now, I think just to bring it back around, we talk about, why wasn't this successful? To me, I don't think short footage of this game shows very well, because I don't think it's, aesthetically pleasing right off the hop to be able to understand what's going on here. And also, when I looked at footage briefly, I didn't understand exactly what this game was. It does look very fast paced, beat 'em uppy, so that may be a good reason as to why it wasn't successful.
We also didn't have the branding yet at that time of saying they would have plastered the word Metroidvania all over that fucking thing if we had known better at the time, right? But we didn't. We didn't really know how to market it, right?
This is a good time to mention where I think the big problem with the term Metroidvania is when game developers use it. Like if we're using it in conversation, okay, I know what you're talking about. If I'm logging into a game digital store and they're saying this Metroidvania type game that we just made, no, I know I'm in for some shit if you have to tell me it's a Metroidvania, because I know what you're.
So like, what would be an example of that? I'm just trying to equate this to a game.
I don't know if I have one off the top of my head, but I know what he's talking about. It's getting misused a lot in because how like in the indie space that they always try to equate to like, oh, this is like this or this is like that, right? I mean, we just had an indie presentation where we just had the term Souls-like, right? We'll get to that later, but like, it's exactly right. So like, look, I feel like in 2014 that term wasn't probably. I don't know. Maybe that's it actually. Maybe it just hit the wrong time. Maybe 2014 wasn't. I feel like if this came out in like 2017, this would have been a lot more successful. Or maybe even a little bit before, when people were looking for stuff like Shadow Complex or other games that would people will put in that category. I don't know. Maybe it was just the wrong time for it.
I do think that Hollow Knight did bring a lot of focus from people who didn't look at that genre that way before. I think in a post Hollow Knight world, this would have done a lot better.
Yeah. Because even think about like Blaster Master Zero and stuff. They didn't even market themselves that way, even though they're, one of the originals to do it. Right. So I don't know. Yeah, I really think that might be it. It's kind of a case of unfortunate timing. One more thing, though, about the locales is what I was trying to say was not just the Battleship Balrog. The original game also goes to like the fucking Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, I didn't even talk to you about that, Steve. You love the squeal, the Amazon ladies when you slice them up. Can you give me a good?
No, I don't want to be canceled.
Come on, give me one. I promise I won't turn it into something on Pornhub.
Steve does not want to be canceled at this time.
Oh, Jesus. Anyway, that's a wild sound effect they make. Anyway, you go to some like exotic locales in those 20 minutes of the arcade game. You don't really do that in Strider 14. The best you get is the Battleship Balrog, and it's just the same industrialness as everything else. I'm sure they didn't have a whole lot of budget. I'm sure they did the best they could with what they had, made by Double Helix, who doesn't exist anymore. I think they died like 6 months after this game came out.
Ooh. So yeah, wasn't the last thing they did Killer Instinct?
Yeah, I think so. And this came out like February 2014, so those two things were kind of their last hurrahs. Too bad, because I don't know. I hope they know people out there love this game.
Well, while we're on the topic of the book club games, Steve, are we ready to get the grand unveiling of what we're doing next?
Our next book club game, in case anyone else wants to play with us, is going to be Valhalla. It's a mess to spell. You see, I figured we've been doing a lot of violent gameplay lately, and I figured we need to chill the fuck out and do some bartending.
I mean, come on, Strider 2014 is rated E10. Come on, it's not that bad.
Look, it's been a lot of killing and a lot of me yelling at Kevin for Hollow Knight being broken. So I thought,
get real, you fuck.
See? He was all you were healing with Kevin and you just broke it.
I
lost all trust again.
Listen, why am I choosing this game? Because it's going to force Andre to explore an indie title, and it's going to force Kevin to play something vaguely visual novelty with maybe some vague anime titty in it.
Ooh.
Maybe it'll force Kevin to calm down because I'm fucking mad at Steve.
Okay, wow. Okay, you guys need to work this out some more. Okay, we need to take a break. These two are gonna have a talk, guys. We'll be right back. Alright, we're back. I'm not sure if they really worked out their differences, but they definitely made out, which is a good sign. So, hopefully Steve and Kevin are on the mend here.
Is angry making
Wink.
out,
though. Everyone get your Tic Tacs, your Altoids, freshen up. And, boy, Steve, there was an Indie World today. Your favorite.
Yeah, well, not my favorite, but I enjoy them.
Your favorite.
I mean, this one was fucking K, to borrow an Andreism.
You mean we are OFK?
That happens later because
okay.
they started with Ooblitz. It's like that's a I don't know. That didn't strike me as the thing to lead off with, but I guess people will like it.
I liked it. I thought it was cute as hell. I don't know. I thought it was cool. I in fact, that's probably like if I'm picking 3 things from here I'm most interested in, that's one of them for sure. I don't know. I was kind of into it. Then again, I'm like the pet raising Tamagotchi loving type of person. I don't know. Like I like raising critters, so
I have a real pet, so I guess not me.
Oh, okay. I really get laid. I don't need to play Senran Kagura. I can see real titties at home. I'm a fucking man. I have a real dog.
All right. I see how it is.
Yeah, I see how it is too, okay? And I don't need your judgment. Wow, maybe I'm the one who needs some... Wow, what happened, guys? Whoa, Indie World, everybody!
Yeah, you know what doesn't go good with salt? Electricity. Because a luckhead... It took until a luckhead to find a game I was interested in. Some college student made it. That was like the conceit behind it, I think. And now he made it like into a full-fledged release. I mean, it seemed pretty bare bones, but you fling your head against different things and to turn power on and off. And this could be fun, but if it's more than $10, I don't see myself buying it.
I didn't think the game looked that interesting, but the developer that spoke about it was so likable, I feel obligated to pick it up.
Yeah, I thought so as well. I like that they have those developer talking. They didn't always used to do that before. I think that's fun. I don't know. Nice little personal touch. I'm sure I'm not the first person to say that, but
I like it too.
I mean, speaking of touches, did we all see the totally accurate battle simulator as everyone else?
Yes. I thought that was strange. I was kind of hoping it would be one of those games where it's like, could 50,000 velociraptors kill 100,000 tigers? Or you know what kind of games I'm talking about? Like, I like those. Yes. I kind of thought it would be like that, but
I mean, I wasn't really too sure what to make of it, and that could still be the case because they kept sticking woolly mammoths all over the place. I'm like, this felt like one of those scenarios where we could have used another minute or two to actually explore what the hell this was.
You guys ever see those videos where it's like, here's like 10,000 super mutants versus 1,000 Brotherhood of Steel or something? Like they hack like Fallout to like do like crazy battles. Nobody knows what I'm saying? No? Okay.
No.
Okay, fine. I'm the only one who's watched those? All right.
Hey, we all have interesting video viewing habits. Like,
but you guys are looking at me like this would never exist. Like you've never seen one of these videos.
I think I know what I've seen the ones where they're like, okay, we're going into the house in Skyrim, but we're gonna like mod in 4,000 slices of cheese and see what happens.
No.
The same that I've seen.
Okay, you've seen slices of cheese, but you haven't seen actual. Oh my god. Okay, Jesus Christ.
But the concept is the
Slices
same.
Of cheese?
It's like, all these spiders fighting mammoths, or it's just like how much cheese can this table hold?
Oh my god. This is not what I wanted at all. Never mind.
Well, you're awkwardly waiting for an answer. I felt I had to contribute.
Well, you guys were looking at me like I look crazy. I mean, I am crazy, but like not about this.
Yeah, well, then I just get shit for thinking about cheese the whole time.
I'm crazy about and kind of want Gunbrella.
People like this one.
You didn't like it?
I wouldn't say that, but I wasn't like taken with it either.
Huh? I thought this was the most interesting thing they showed.
Really?
It's also got until next year, so anything can happen between now and then.
Okay, I don't know.
We're all going to have to be OFK about it because that's another that's another thing coming this summer. I mean, although the way they were presenting it to us was a little odd, like new scenarios every week. Like, are we going to be paying for those scenarios every week, or is it just one of those things where it's already in the code and it's just going to unlock after a period? Because this could potentially be a fun book club game for us, I think, but because of the different paths we can find ourselves taking with this in-game band, but yeah, I mean, again, like, how does this extra content trickle out? That's something I'd like to know.
It's a weird one, right? Because like it's almost, I feel like it would have to be personalized, like when you start playing the game, not like we're gonna have so many episodes over the course of until like November 2022 or something. They gotta just like, I don't know. Maybe it's a mechanic to keep you coming back to the game once a week or something like that. Or I don't know. This doesn't seem like something Kevin would really.
No, I didn't want to be a Debbie Downer, but this was probably the one I don't know if I would vote for this for a book club game.
Well, it could be a Steve and Andre game. Not everything is for everybody. And speaking of things that aren't for Andre, Silt is coming to Switch. Let's go diving underwater.
Nope.
And then look for shit. I mean, I'm going to probably look at this, but Andre's already... the moment this came out, I'm like, well, I'm playing this one with either Kevin or by myself, because I know Andre's not touching this one.
I can't even bring myself to play Shin Senkai, right? So, like, I don't even want to broach this one.
I get that monochrome look works for some games. I felt like this game would have just looked better with color.
Maybe it's a filter. Hopefully it's like or maybe they're doing the thing like once you get to a certain point it becomes color or some shit like that, right? One of them kind of shits.
That is some kind of shit.
Well, I don't know. Kevin may not want to play the other game, but he is definitely playing Boyfriend Dungeon with us. I don't care what he wants. Boyfriend Dungeon is happening.
One day we're gonna just have to buckle down and make that the book club game because
that is on Game Pass. I know.
Is it? Oh, okay. We got to play Boyfriend Dungeon. I can't wait to ask you guys who your boyfriend is.
I'm gonna bring my wife on for that segment, and she can tell everybody what she thought about while I played Boyfriend Dungeon.
who your boyfriend really
Actually,
should be.
She may be living at her mom's by that point, so she might not be available.
While you play with your boyfriends. Oh boy. Okay. We were inflicted the term Souls-like upon us at some point during this thing. It was about a crab, right? It was the crab game.
Another crab's treasure. Now, I like the idea of a hermit crab that was fighting other underwater denizens and needed to replace the shell as his other the one he was wearing breaks and things. I like the idea, but then they came on with the shells and I'm like, oh, no.
Was that not just a play on words, though? Was that actually implying that's what this game is going after? Because yes. I just took it as...
I think it's real. No, I think they really meant that.
Just the gameplay didn't look like... It didn't look as...
For everyone at home, my notes on this game is just the Simpsons picture of the note in the lunchbox. It says... Be good. For the love of God, please be good, because I want to like this game, but who the hell knows?
I thought you didn't really do this type of game, though.
What?
I hate to say it, Souls-like.
I really haven't played one for any tremendous length of time.
And you're going to make your first one another crab's treasure?
I don't know. Maybe I'll make it Bloodborne on PS4 Plus, on the PS5 Plus system.
I want to back the truck up to Mini Motorways before we move on, because I thought that looked really good. That was maybe after Gunbrella. That was I'm gonna get it. I haven't got around to it yet, but
I was wondering how much.
I don't know. It looked kind of. I think it was 20 Canadian, so I would imagine 15 American.
Okay.
It looks fairly, I don't know, kind of like I think about manipulating the traffic in city skylines, and then if that was like flipped into a puzzle game.
Oh, that game where you draw the... Okay, yeah. I was kind of interested in that too. Yeah, they shadow dropped that today. That's right. Keep up with the show, goddammit, Andre.
I'm going to play that, so I'll let you know next episode how it was.
For sure.
This is a little pertinent to before, because Kevin's all, I don't like Majora's Mask, but I'm going to suffer through it anyway. So they showed off this other game where we're in a flying hospital and you have to, there a whole lot of shit's going on and you can only be present for so many events at a time, called Wayward Strand. And I'm watching this and like, I can get into all of this. I feel like I could lose a lot of time on this one, but I was going to ask about how you felt, but Kevin was like, "No, I don't like the 3-day mechanic. I don't like talking to people again and again. I can't do this." I'm like, "Okay, I guess it's just Steve playing this one alone again."
Yeah, I think you're on your own there. I'm not going to sign up for the indie version of it. So enjoy.
What about Cult of the Lamb? Can we play as the lamb that's sort of doing farming but also killing everybody too?
I'm good for lamb killing.
Because Devolver's been trotting that one out for a while. I was surprised to see it today.
I would have been happy if it was just ape out with a lamb out, but it's fine. I guess this is fine too.
Okay, speaking of ape out, that sizzle reel had a game, Gibbon Beyond the Trees. Did we see that for a second where you're just like you're just swinging through vines and whatever, and I'm like, is this just non-violent ape out? I'm swinging through the. Is this what happens after he goes home? I'm swinging through the trees and climbing a banana and hugging my son. Is this what happens after ape out? We no more fun jazz. We're just gonna hang out and I don't know.
Climbing a banana.
Yeah, what is? I got to be honest with you. I don't remember this at all. So you're, are you sure you didn't dream this one?
It's available now.
Okay, in Steve's head.
I mean, well, to be fair, for me, the real star of that sizzle reel was Card Shark, and that's finally dated for June 2nd, and that had a demo, and I did get to try the demo for a little bit today. I think it's going to be something we talk about for a while.
There was another card game that they showed off in more detail that wasn't in the sizzle reel. You know what I'm talking about?
I think you might be talking about Wild Frost.
Okay, yeah, that was interesting to me. I like card shit, so that's intriguing for me.
This is a little different. It's that poker game where we're trying to help others cheat at poker, taking a peek at their cards while we're pouring wine, and you can only peek while you're pouring the wine, so you only get 3 seconds. Otherwise, you draw suspicion, and you got to wipe the table in certain directions to tell the Duke person what suit they have in their hands. I think this is going to be a lot of fun when I finally sit down and play the full version.
A tale as old as time, cheating at cards, right? Why not? I don't know. This is a good indie world. Usually I don't get a whole lot out of these, but I was intrigued by more of these than I typically am. That's good.
That's what I thought too. I seen a lot of people complaining about this one online, like it was worse than usual, and I didn't think so at all.
No, I didn't feel that way.
I mean, it was a little slower paced because there was a lot of, here's the trailer, here's the developer, and then here's the MCs talking about the game again for a bunch of them.
I know Andre's going to call me an idiot, but I got to bring this up right at the very start. They're like, we have indie partners across the globe, from Japan to Switzerland, and then they throw in Australia. They fucking knew what they were doing because everybody, and I'm not one of those people. I've not been tweeting Silk Song for the last 24 hours, but as soon as they said Australia, they fucking knew what they were doing.
Y'all are reaching. I don't know why you want this so bad. It's gonna happen when it happens. You just don't hurt yourself with that.
You know
reach.
what? I checked the chat as soon as they said that, and it was blowing the fuck up. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, they said Australia."
Oh my god, reach harder. God damn, guys.
Okay, to be fair, I was sitting at home, and when they said Sweden, I'm like, oh boy, SteamWorld something is going to be shown today. And then when they said Australia, I'm like, oh boy, a day for sports world, or what, sports story. So, you know what? I got shown up today, too. And you know what? I even got shown up again twice, because that sizzle reel was the last of it. After they quietly slid in the third Opus game, which, I played the first one. I liked it okay. They're like, okay, that's the end of our direct. See you guys later.
Mm-hmm. It was kind of awkward.
No one last thing.
Well, they did say before the sizzle reel that would be it, so...
Yeah, but they've done that before, too. But where they said...
I don't know. Look, I didn't get Blaster Master 04, so I don't really give a shit, okay? Whatever.
How many zeros can we... Look, I like the first one, and I know I need to play the second and third, but how many zeros can we have before it's just Blaster Master 1 again?
We went Blaster Master 0, or Mega Man 04, right? So at least 4.
But Mega Man 0 is the character, not
it's the integer 0. Okay? There's no character called Zero because he's dead.
Hey, spoilers for games everyone played,
Wow.
except for Kevin because he doesn't care.
He doesn't give a shit.
You know what's bullshit? You mock us for the Australia thing coming from the guy that will believe any rumor that's ever hit Twitter ever, and you treat us like we're fucking conspiracy theorists over Australia.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna see like Canada and be like, oh no, a new Tribute Games game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
but it's like but Silk Song it's got this like whole thing that's been built up for a year. So when I guarantee when they wrote
it's been longer than that.
Well, yeah, but I guess it's just as far as the like nonstop hype every time a director in indie world is brought up. It's just immediate. Silk Song is the thing everybody talks about. So when they wrote the script and they referenced Australia, they fucking knew.
Oh my god, guys!
I guess the other thing is that we've been a little spoiled by these. Like we've had Microsoft games like Cuphead and oh my god, Ori. Both Oris pop in on these now. Cadence of Hyrule was a fun surprise that one time, and we got spoiled by that after a number of times. You can't keep up that sort of momentum forever.
I don't know. You guys just like, what's that Nine Inch Nails song? I just made you up to hurt myself. What's that line? Yeah, that's the it's a song from With Teeth. I can't remember what song it is, but that's what you guys are doing, man. You don't have to do that to yourself.
They did it to us.
Okay. All right. Let's move on.
More Kevin than me.
Let's move on. Let's talk about our favorite subject, Balan Wonderland. I almost said Wonderland instead of Wonderworld. God damn it. God.
It's just on the bottom. It's somewhere in the middle of list of things wrong with the game because someone there had to say, Balan Wonderland is probably a better sounding name for this game. No, the game is called Balan Wonderworld.
It's like when when they had that big expose on the development of Anthem, and they were remember how they were banned from talking about Destiny in the office or whatever. It's like, even though that's exactly what they were making, they were not allowed to talk about no, it's not Destiny. Like, kind of is, though, a lot, actually. No. It's like, you may have been a lot more successful if you just admitted you were making Destiny, but, whatever. Jeez. Anyway, Yuki Naka dishes on Square Enix big time, and apparently Arzest as well. Jesus Christ. He went nuclear. Like, okay, let's just start here. So, he made a tweet, and this was the beginning of a thread, too, but the first tweet. 6 months before the launch of Balan Wonderworld, a work order was issued removing me as director, so I filed a lawsuit in court against Square Enix. I would like to tell you that the court case is over and the work order is no longer in effect at this time. So it sounds like they settled out of court, basically. I don't know if Japan's court systems have that or whatever, but it's over. So one of two things happened here. Either Square Enix removed him because the project was just going bad, or either they were clashing so much on what it should be that he got removed because they were fighting so much and it was just left unfinished. I kind of lead towards option number one. Steve, let's start with you. What do you believe here? Because Jesus Christ.
It's both, Andre. It's fucking both. I'm sure they hired Yuki Naka thinking he was going to be 1992 Yuki Naka and not 2022 Yuki Naka. And he hasn't really been able to make a game of terribly big scope in some time. Ever since Probe started up, you've had a few okay little games on... In little game packs like We Play Motion and the Street Pass Plaza and even Ivy the Kiwi was pretty okay. But then you try to expand the scope too far with Rodea the Sky Soldier, holy shit. And you go down it's just he can't reach that far anymore. I don't know if he doesn't have the resources or he just doesn't have the vision for it. Something that some projects that big he can't do. So Square Enix was dumb enough to hire him to do a bigger game. Naka was insistent enough that he could do this game. Everyone fucked up.
Yeah.
Really.
Kevin?
Yeah, I think even outside of these two options that we've given that happened, I think just looking at this a little bit more globally, I was offended by not offended, but I thought this tweet was bullshit in the first place, because it really seemed like it was him trying to save face, and I don't think it was a problem with like the development going bad, because from what I've seen on the internet and what I played from that demo, this was not a game that, you know, was just needed another 6 months in the oven, or like I don't feel like anything went wrong during development. I think it was wrong conceptually from the beginning, and so that's more where I lay the blame.
Yeah, I think that it's obvious to everyone who had played the demo, and it's one of the most catastrophically like gone wrong for your project demos like of all time, just because everyone played that and be like, yo, they have no idea what they're doing. That I agree with you. It's unsalvageable, right? I don't care. That thing was rotten to its core. And I'm glad you brought up Steve Rodea, the Sky Soldier, because I feel like that's the precursor to this. And like everyone was on a side that, oh, you know, there was the Wii version and there was a Wii U version. They were packaged together. He was telling everyone to play the old one and shit. Like it was a whole thing, right? How many more times does he need to have a project go bad like this before it's like, dude, it's you?
Well, I don't think he has that option anymore, because even before this, as you may recall, Prope is now just Yuki Naka twiddling his thumbs at home. Prope barely exists now. So, I mean, I feel like there could have been a future. There's a timeline where Prope could have been working at Square Enix making mobile games, or maybe smaller games on the side, like smaller, fun little spin-off games. And they could have been doing that. But Balan Wonderworld was just, no, that was just a bad idea. No one should have greenlit this.
No. Well, Square Enix wanted that. I don't know what they were thinking, but like but in that tweet thread, which I'm obviously not going to read all of, he had a lot of stuff about like removing a director is catastrophic because of this and that. He goes on to talk about, you know, like in the original Sonic, like to add, like to stay alive if you only have one ring, that was added like super late in development. He said that. So it's like, you know, we need to think of all these things. We need to worry up to the last minute, which I do get, but bruh, like look at what you're making. Like this was, you know, but I want to read one more tweet of his just because like, to me, this was the hammer. He wrote, "It is a real shame that we released the unfinished worked Balan Wonderworld to the world. I wanted to release it to the world as an action game in proper form, considering various things. I think Square Enix and Arzest are companies that do not care about games and game fans." Whoa, dude. Arzest, by the way, is the company who worked with Yuki Naka on Balan Wonderworld, and like, Arzest sucks, like full stop. Like the biggest credits are like Hey Pikmin and like Yoshi's New Island, games that people think are just okay or very inessential. The Street Pass Me Plaza, right? Like that, those are the Arzest big hits, right? So it's like you really hired this company to do your big like 3D action platformer. Like, sorry, how do you think this is gonna go?
Well, this is where I'm going to slightly disagree, but then go back to agreeing with you in the same sentence. I don't hate Arzest, but this was also not a project for them to do. You hire Arzest to make your smaller scale projects, your little side scroller whatevers, not the 3D mascot platformer that's going to take over, make everyone forget about Super Mario Odyssey or whatever they thought was going to happen with this.
I still say one of the best times we ever had on our previous creative endeavors, the day that demo came out, because we went in, buddy. Like we all played, and Steve played it on Switch, which was like, oh my god!
I played it on Switch as well.
Oh god! I went back and played it on Switch just to see what he was seeing, and I was like, oh no, baby, what is you doing? Oh my god, I just never forget. Anyway, but that's a mess. It's too bad. I don't know. The guy hasn't made a good game in 20 years. That's the fact of it. So he can blame whoever he wants, but that's the truth. So anyway, Kevin,
Boy, Square Enix is really making the fine time news this week.
Yeah.
For $300 million, the Embracer Group bought Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, and Square Enix Montreal. So they wound up getting Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, and Thief. Square Enix retains Just Cause, Outriders, and Life is Strange. So altogether, that purchase was 50 game properties and 1,100 personnel. I was a little bit surprised by something this big already. Just I don't know. I thought we were, as soon as the Microsoft Activision sale, it seemed like there was a lot of talk about regulation that happened all of a sudden. I thought we were gonna not see, because sorry, let me backtrack. Immediately after that, there was rumors that Sony will be buying the remains of Square Enix. I don't know. It seems like this.
Let's start here, though, because the most interesting thing to me is Square Enix retaining those three properties: Just Cause, Outriders, I don't understand why, and Life is Strange. Like, those three, though. Like, not...
Well, with Life is Strange, it feels like it's on... It always seems like it's on brand with what the rest of the... they've got going on in Square Enix town, but I couldn't say why they're hanging on to Just Cause of all things.
And Outriders. I understand Outriders is like a year old, but it's one of those live service games nobody likes. It just exists, right?
The theory I've seen around with that is that if they're really going to lean on NFTs for a while, which I really wanted to put that in, but no one really seemed to commit to that point one way or another. Like, remember that at the beginning of the year, the New Year's speech they made was like, yep, NFTs are the future of Square Enix. Like, if you have a live service game like Outriders, I feel like that would be where I would start experimenting.
Yeah.
I just feel like from the beginning of the year to now that I would imagine that pretty much everybody's position on NFTs has rapidly done a 180. So I don't feel like that played as big of a factor in this as the internet had made it out to.
Well, that's the other thing. As we keep bringing up, they don't make they don't wake up and say, you know what, I'm gonna sell me a Tomb Raider. No, these negotiations take weeks, months to set up and finalize. It's not like this didn't happen in a day.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't think. Just to address the other thing about basically everyone just assuming this is to make themselves attractive to a buyer, aka Sony, I don't see it. Like, I really don't think it would benefit Square Enix at this point in time to be an exclusive. Yeah, Final Fantasy 16 is, right? But so what? Like, that's... I don't know. And I'm sure Sony put up the money for that anyway. I don't see a world in which, like, Chocobo GP Racing Next or whatever is like only for PS5. I just don't really see that benefiting them. Like, so
I don't buy this either, because I know this happened a long time ago where Spirits Within ate shit, and Sony owned a good chunk of the company for a while. They let go of them a few years ago, the chunk they had. I feel like if they were going to buy them up, it would have been, they would have just, why would you own a good chunk of a company, let them go, and then buy them up again?
It is a weird one. I guess it depends on why they let them go to the first place, which we will never know. But yeah, you're right. I don't know. I didn't really think about it that way. I don't know. This is a strange one. I don't really get it from any angle.
I just originally bought into this because it seemed like a lot of prominent games media people were treating this like it was something that was legitimately going to happen. But I think you guys make good points as well.
I'm honestly surprised it didn't happen already. That's what I'm really getting at, because until a few years ago, a lot of these were exclusive to they were already some, like, a second-party developer for Sony in all but name, except for, the occasional Nintendo or Microsoft effort that didn't really matter one way or another.
I don't know. I know that the government, I was reading that they were even looking into the Bungie thing, the Sony buying Bungie deal. Like, you know what I mean? Let alone the Microsoft and Activision. So, like, I don't know. I don't think it's the right time for this. I also don't really think that's how these companies typically work. So I also
don't think Sony has as much money as Microsoft does to just fling around, because they are eating shit in their movie division. Venom did good, but the rest of the attempts to, I'm sorry, that other movie they just put out recently did.
Oh, Morbius or
Morbius, thank you. Just sucked out loud in terms of box office sales. Venom was a very lucky lightning strike. I think I would be very impressed if the rest of this Spider-Verse without Spider-Man movies pan out to anything remotely successful.
Did you guys see Venom? First one? I thought it was kind of crappy, but it was not. I don't know. It just as an aside.
Which one?
The Venom?
It was fine.
I just didn't.
It was stupid, but
you know what? I just thought it was really funny that they had an Eminem song at the end. Like, it was still like 1999, and we still had like big soundtrack songs. Ooh, Eminem's rapping out Venom. Like, who gives a shit? God, I don't know whose idea. Look, I'm sure he did it because Sony paid him a shitload of money. I mean, I would have done it too. I'm not blaming him. It's just like, guys, you're so out of touch here. We don't do that anymore. It's like the Addams Family rap by MC Hammer or something, right? It's like, come on.
Counterpoint, Grand Theft Auto kind of recently did that with the Dr. Dre DLC, which actually the one single that came out of that gospel is one of the best rap songs in the last 10, 15 years.
Yep.
I think
it can still happen.
But that was a good example of a big music marketing deal.
Mm-hmm. All right, Steve, it's time to laugh at the industry. Time to put on I wish I had funny circus music. I don't have any. If I find any, I'll add it in post right now. I don't have any.
In a segment I've titled "Video Games Funniest Bloopers." Remember that shit from the 90s where they tried selling you tapes of everyone tripping in football because we couldn't look that shit up on YouTube at the time. Am I the only one that remembers this?
I remember the sitcom bloopers hosted by like Dick Clark or whatever. I remember like those, but I don't remember.
I think this was the same. It might be this. I'm probably talking about the same idea. They rented out tapes at Blockstore. Okay. Anyway,
I didn't know there was tapes. I guess I used to watch them like it was a network special or something. All we have is reruns. So let's do a special of bloopers, right? Yeah, and half of them would be like Coach or something, or some fucking stupid sitcom.
Oh boy. really seems like somebody who's almost 40 is dating themselves right now.
I hate Coach. I never thought that shit was funny.
Fucking Coach.
Never thought that was funny.
But if you really want something to laugh at, Activision was having some kind of fiscal meeting or other public disclosure where they blamed Call of Duty's relatively poor performance on the lack of interest in the World War II setting.
Call of Duty Vanguard. As opposed to, other things that might have decreased sales, like oversaturation of the games, the way they were staggering out content, ongoing scandals with the parent company. That's the third one you listed. They're having a giant scandal. The biggest scandal we've seen in this fucking industry. Oh, I can't imagine that wouldn't have an effect. Oh my god!
Scandal, a buyout announcement that might be causing some of the other issues.
I don't know. The World War II genre is just an unproven concept at this point, so maybe that's it.
Yeah, we really need to explore it further. I'm not so sure.
That's the one with Hitler, right?
You know what? I honestly, in all seriousness, I really think it's Call of Duty Warzone, that free-to-play shit. Why would anybody buy a new Call of Duty? They're giving it away on that thing, right? I feel like that's cannibalizing everything, actually. I feel like that should be the new direction of Call of Duty.
I remember a time where you played a single-player campaign of Call of Duty for shits and giggles, but I feel like that's almost no one in real life that... You know what? I'm buying Call of Duty to play the single-player mode. That's nobody.
No, so, does anybody know if Vanguard had a single-player mode? Because I know they started cutting out campaigns recently. I don't know if that was across the board, but...
I feel like Black Ops 4 a while back was like the first one to not have one. I don't know about Vanguard, though. I don't know. I don't know enough about college. I don't know a thing about the COD. I don't know why I sang. I'm sorry. I'm not really that sorry.
Well, you might want to secure your COD piece for this other funny piece of news.
My Ganondorf COD piece.
Where 30 years later, after, ripping everybody off, EA and FIFA are no longer going to be making soccer games together. Now, EA is still going to be making soccer games. They're not allowed to call it FIFA, and any events they sponsor are cut out, but they still got the licenses for however many players, teams, and venues, so they're going to have, I don't know, Ronaldo Soccer 24 coming in a year or so. I'm sorry, that's the only soccer player I know.
I feel like there's someone named David Beckham. No, that was a long time ago, though. He doesn't still play soccer.
I'm also not a sports person, so... But, but to continue this bitter breakup, FIFA's also like, we're not done with video games either. We're going to partner with other developers to deliver the only authentic real game.
Do we know what happened, though? Like, why did they lose the FIFA license?
Someone probably wanted more money.
Somebody needs to get FIFA and Yuki Naka in a room together to work this out.
Yuki Naka making a FIFA
game? Bow in football land.
Oh, my God.
No, sorry, no questions here, but, come on, guys.
Okay, well, we said we were going to point and laugh, so, okay, I'm going to count down. We're all going to point and laugh, okay? 3, 2, 1. Okay, there we go. One more thing before we take a break. They announced Summer Game Fest is set for June 9th, pretty soon. And then the Xbox and Bethesda Game Showcase, yes, that's the real name, is set for June 12th. So, hey, we got our makeshift E3, just like we predicted, right? So... Let's start here. Are we expecting Summer Games Fest to be any good?
Nope.
Okay, Kevin's out. Steve?
Am I expecting the Summer Games Fest branded announcements to be good? No, not in particular.
Yeah, you guys, I was so underwhelmed with last year. Not that I thought last year was going to be that good either, because it was still very Rona, but like, I don't know. Maybe they'll improve, right? I guess like the first couple Game Awards were kind of crappy too, right? So who knows?
Well, they name like one thing they showed off last year. I remember there was DLC for the fucking top-down Jurassic Park game. That's what I took.
Yeah, it sucked. It sucked. Like I don't know what happened. Yeah, no, I'm with you. So I don't know. There's nowhere to go but up, I guess. So Kevin, do you think it's weird that like the Xbox and Bethesda Game Showcase, like that feels like some weird bit of like fealty? I don't know if that's the right word, but it's just like, Bethesda used to do their own showcase. Now they're part of Microsoft. So it's like, is that like, I don't know.
I do think it's a little weird, but I'll tell you what I think is going to happen. I think this is going to be the last year that does happen because they really want to put the spotlight on Starfield. But I think unless, the Elder Scrolls 6 is way closer than we're expecting it to be, I feel like maybe next year it's just the Microsoft presentation again, and they kind of just let that organically go away.
I guess so. Starfield, though, we've been talking about Starfield was announced like years ago. I remember. Like, are we really gonna like?
Well, because it's coming out at the end of this year, I think they still want to amplify that. We've got Bethesda, and it's a big, because Starfield is still associated as a Bethesda game, whereas as soon as they start marketing the Elder Scrolls 6, any new Fallouts, that's going to be marketed, I think, under the Microsoft umbrella, whereas they're still trying to draw attention that, hey, Microsoft has Bethesda, which has Starfield.
But I think that's like, just, I guess this is kind of an aside, but like, I remember we talked about that when they got acquired, and like, I think that's never going to happen. I don't think anyone is ever going to disassociate Elder Scrolls from Bethesda or Fallout. It doesn't matter how much Microsoft you put on there.
Yeah,
I feel
once once they come out and they say it's not coming out on anything other than Microsoft, than Xbox and PC, then it's that, I don't know, that changes it.
I guess so. Maybe we're just, I don't know. Maybe we're just old and we're going to think about it that way.
You're old.
Okay. I am. I'm going to be. This is the last show of my 30s, everybody. Next time I'm going to be in the 40s.
Yeah, we're not. I feel like we're not making enough old jokes at this time.
You can make some next time. It'll still be
Steve, can
like
you,
less
can
than a
you
week.
amplify this up too with me?
Yeah, you guys write a whole bunch of jokes for next time when I'll actually be 40, and you can roast me. Why don't you roast me like a good old fashioned Hollywood?
Here's Andre live from one of those fucking chairlift things that goes up and down the stairs for people.
Oh my god!
No, I'm not saying Andre's old.
Okay, so Summer Game Fest, Xbox and Bethesda, Nintendo, right? That's the last piece of this. They're gonna play ball, or are they gonna just do their own thing? They're going to have a direct in June. I think every one of us believes that. Will it coincide with this stuff though? You think that's gonna be for I think the 12th is like a Saturday. Do you think there's going to be a direct on the 16th or something of June, guys?
I don't think it might be earlier in the week or the 6th or after the other ones. There's no reason for them to not have the direct. They excuse me, the year's been paced enough for it. We'll be having that direct in June. Whether it's before or after Microsoft or even later in the month just to fuck with everybody, who knows?
I mean, I'm going to put my money on within 4 days, either before or after the 12th. Why not capitalize on that on that no E3 hype?
Yeah, I feel like it'll have the same feel. Sony, doesn't matter. They haven't been participating anyway. They do like to usually do a thing in the summer, though, where they do have a proper games showcase, not just like a shitty little state of play. Although the last state of play was good.
How great would it be if they come out and they're like, oh, we're going to have a state of play this year, June 15th, and it's going to be a fucking big one.
And then it's just
they start out with Final Fantasy 16. Just builds.
God, see, I didn't put that in here, but like I really feel that's got to be it. Like they've been ramping up the Final Fantasy 16. You know, Yoshi P said it's almost done. If Sony's going to have a game showcase, that's got to be the big one, right? They've got to show that fucking thing. It's been too long. Yeah, I kind of agree with you guys. I feel like they'll keep that feel, even if they do it the Tuesday after all the guys, like Nintendo always goes last. I feel like that would, you know what I mean? Keep that same spot. Anything else you guys think is going to happen around here? I really don't think Sony's going to coincide, but their summer showcase is going to probably be later. But expecting anything else?
Well, I already know that Limited Run has said they were keeping their direct up, so I'm expecting that to have a few interesting whatevers as they've been doing, and Devolver has also heavily implied that they will still be doing their show Fuck You E3 as they are wont to do. So, you know.
They're so great. They're just so excellent.
What was that one that you got stuck listening to last time, Steve, that was like the good vibes?
The Humble Direct. And
Yes.
Not humble.
Maybe we'll get a Humble Direct.
Wholesome, yeah. Good vibes.
Never the fuck again. Maybe if we're really tapped for news that week, but
no, now you got to watch them just because they're funny. Like you got to watch them for the comedy factor now.
If we got to watch Summer Game Fest, you got to watch that.
Oh, we're going to watch Summer Game Fest. I don't know if we'll want to, but we will. All right, guys, we'll be right back with some other stuff. coming right back on Fine Time, motherfuckers. How about that? That's our new jingle coming back from break. Okay, Steve approves, I think. Or he just had a medical issue. I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out which one.
I look forward to hearing that on the top 40 next week.
Casey Kasem's top 40. Okay. The fiscal year financials came out for Nintendo and Sony, and I love looking through these. Like, there's so much stuff that's interesting in there, but we'll keep it relatively simple this time. So, first, I just want to say off the top for Nintendo, 107 million Switch units sold across all models. That's a crazy number. Wow. I mean, it's no surprise that they got there. We all knew they would this year, but woo, good stuff. I mean, it's weird with Nintendo, right? If you just look at their up and down history, whether it's, N64 and GameCube were a little flat, Wii's up there, Wii U's the worst, and now we have this. It's just it's a lot, man. I didn't expect it, but we're here.
It's interesting just taking that 107 million in comparison to the game sales too. It seems like the attach rate for Switch is much higher than on previous consoles.
Yeah, for sure. It is. If we look at all the John Cartwright had that great tweet the other day. Like, we sold more Switches than Wii U software total. Yep. So that's so wild, man. And that's where you make all the money, obviously, software. Speaking of software, though, they updated their million sellers list. Obviously, not every single game on here on Switch has sold 1 million, but just anything that has sold significant numbers this year has gotten an update. We can look up and down this list and we can talk about whatever we want, but I guess I'll go first. Can someone please explain Ring Fit Adventure to me? Can someone please? Because 14 million copies sold. I don't understand. Someone tell me why. Tell me why.
Somewhere between the pandemic and the artificial scarcity from the first run having only 5 probably made this happen.
Mm. Well, I think everybody said it was the pandemic, but I think it had more to do with, this secondhand scalper, quote unquote collector market where everybody's seen that these were hard to get. So they started snapping them up. I think that had a lot to do with it.
I don't know. What else sticks out to you guys here? I've talked before how, Splatoon 2 here is at 13.3 million. I never thought a series like this would do big numbers, ever. That's just so crazy to me in a good way. I love that it's doing great. But
what sticks out to me in comparison with the rest of these? I thought WarioWare was going to do a lot better than it did. Interesting.
So what did WarioWare get to?
1.2. So WarioWare is under Big Brain Academy, under Miitopia. I would have thought it definitely would have exceeded those kind of titles.
Big Brain Academy is also $20 cheaper.
There is that, but also I'm surprised at just Miitopia, straight up 3DS port on Switch, doing even better than your new WarioWare game. Which, look, fine, WarioWare doesn't do big numbers anyway, but that is a strange one. Steve, what do you new Pokemon Snap? You think that's a little soft at 2.4 mil? I feel like that's a tad soft, right?
Pokemon spin-offs are never as super high as the main games are, but I figured we would have easily cracked 7 million, and we would have had DLC packs because this is the game that was begging for DLC. As super complete as this game was, I still haven't finished it. It's that big and it's a lot to take in one shot. Unlike the first game, just the idea of more locales in Pokemon Free to Find should have been a slam dunk to say, okay, here's another add-on pack, and that no, I mean it's good that it did that it sold what it did, but I was expecting a lot more out of this.
I always have to laugh when I see New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. It's at 13.3 million. Just the Wii U ports, man. It's incredible. That was a fucking launch game I mean, I've talked about this a million times. I'm not going to do it again. But just like the fact that a Wii U launch game is your fuck off January release in 2019 just for something for people to buy because they got a Switch for Christmas has sold that many copies is just, it's hilarious. It's great too because I think it's the best new Super Mario Brothers game. But just, oh man, every time I see that number, it's just pretty good. Not listed on here. I know Super Mario Maker 2 is over 7 million. It probably didn't sell significant numbers enough this year to be on here, but you know, that's still doing good. Okay, so the thing everyone bemoaned yesterday when these financials came out is Metroid Dread. Metroid Dread is sitting at 2.9 million. It's probably going to go over that. It'll crack the 3 million mark. No other Metroid game has, but I tried to tell everybody because everyone's like, oh man, this is going to break big because the Switch is such hot shit. And I'm like, guys, it's still Metroid. People are trying to say like 5 million to me. And I'm like, no, guys, it's not.
I think that was me. I think we had that exact discussion.
Really? Okay. You were one of the 5 million people. Okay.
You know what? By the time Switch is done, I think this could get close to 5 million, but not now.
I don't see it having that kind of tail. Honestly, I could see it like a Metroid Prime 4 doing that. I don't see this doing that.
Well, that's the only reason I'm even saying that, because I could see if Metroid Prime 4 happens, and then I could see Dread sales popping up for that. Like, who knows? Maybe Metroid Prime 4 is just the thing that, you know, where everyone finally sees how awesome Metroid is and pays for it.
That's what I wanted to ask about. Let's say Prime 4 comes out at the end of this year, and there's no significant issue. Hypothetically, there's no big issues with it. It's a completely solid game. How much do you guys think that would sell?
Probably about this, honestly. Maybe 4 million. Maybe.
Yeah, based on this, I'd say Prime makes 4 in that same time span.
You don't think Prime just has? I don't know. I feel just for it being 3D and the hype it's going to get.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe I guess I was wrong with Dread, but
well, this is more than I thought. I was saying 750,000. You know what I mean? I thought 1 million was a pipe dream, only because. And look, I know it's 2017. I know it's a 3DS, but Samus Returns did like what, 500,000 maybe. Kind of crawled up there, you know. And look, Dread is a way better game than Samus Returns, that's for sure. But like, I don't know, man.
I figured Dread would have cracked 1 million easily. That it's broke the Prime's record, I think, is excellent, and we need to enjoy that.
It just kind of shows like the install base sometimes of stuff, because like Metroid Prime 3 is at 1.4 mil and has many Wiis that were sold. Like it's not a great number, right? Metroid Prime Hunters at just over 1 million is also pretty funny. Funny that Federation Force isn't on here, huh? I can't imagine why that would be the case. I don't know, man. Yeah, if I see a Metroid Prime 4 doing like crawling up to 4, if this can get to 3, that can get to 4. 4 for Metroid Prime 4.
I genuinely thought that this was going to hit 5. I really did. I'm genuinely surprised it didn't. Go out and fucking buy this game. This is why we can't have nice things, people.
Yeah. Nobody, I mean, come on, guys. Look, this is my favorite game of last year. Don't know about you, Kevin. It was definitely me and Steve's. So
yeah.
Sure fucking was. You know what did hit 4 million units sold? Fucking Clubhouse games.
Yeah. Good for it, man.
Yeah, you guys, I don't know about you, but sometimes it's 2:30 in the morning and I don't want to do too much, but I can't go back to sleep just yet. So I'll pop on some Clubhouse games, and it's almost 2 years later, and I can still find someone online that wants to play Hanafuda or Last Card or something with me on there. There is a small community on here.
I think that's why it's persisted, that online play, because like, yeah, I'll pop on, and I don't usually play online, but like, yeah, I feel like some toy baseball. I feel like some, what's the game from India where you flip the carom? It's called carom. Yeah. I love that game. Have you ever played that? I love that one.
I think I did. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, man, it's what can you say? They're
Good for it.
Yeah, I like that people have bought this. Okay, I similarly how I don't understand like the Mario Party. Like, not that there's anything wrong with Mario Party, I just never expected to sell this much. Luigi's Mansion 3 being over 11 million copies is crazy. That's crazy. A Luigi's Mansion, right? What the fuck?
Yeah, that seems high to me too, for sure.
Yeah.
It came out. Well, it's the best one, and it's on the best system for it. Well, I mean, as opposed to GameCube, which which had smaller install base. I think it just came out at the right time too, because this was just before the pandemic, and I think I think in addition to Animal Crossing, other people might have been looking for other friendlier-ish things to play, and like I remember Luigi's Mansion 1, and I think a lot of sales happened that way.
Not only that, I feel like, and maybe I'm just misremembering, but because Switch has had a real good consistent release schedule since it came out, but I feel late 2019 what was one of the drier periods in comparison.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm trying to think of what else came out that year. Honestly, I think that's why they did that port of like Miitopia. Or was that pandemic time? Was that 2020? I don't remember. But like
Miitopia was just last year.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Time is, I swear to God, after 2019,
time is broken.
I swear I don't know. Oh, man. God, I kept thinking Super Mario 3D All-Stars happened last year, not 2020. I kept I don't know why I kept doing that to myself, but it did. Yeah, I think that's about, I don't know. I don't really have a whole lot of, you guys see anything else on here that catches your eye?
I didn't buy it yet, but Game Builder Garage broke 1 million. Did you guys get this?
Yes, I have it. I think it's great.
Is it?
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Am I able to share? Am I able to share things with people? How does that with people I know? How does that work?
I don't know. I think you put it online and you have a fucking Nintendo code, and then people have to.
Yeah, because I know they weren't making a Mario Maker type situation there. I knew they were making us jump through some hoops.
Yeah. And I think that's why the game has, I don't want to say stalled out at 1 million, because I don't really know how much interest people would have had in this anyway, but there's no community like Mario Maker, so it's tough to, you're just going to be giving it specifically to people who have the game, who want to play your creation. For me, it's not really, that's fine. I just want to make something. It doesn't really matter to me. But for people who that does matter to, you can see the results. I'm glad it cracked 1 mil though. That's cool. All right. Steve, it's time to make me feel dumb. And you know how you make me feel dumb? You want to tell the people?
I make you feel dumb by presenting you with a list of Pokemon that may or may not exist. And you have to guess.
Time to play Pokemon Real or Fake.
But we're not just playing Pokemon Real or Fake today.
Oh.
You see, this is Andre's pre-birthday show. He will be 40 for the next show. To mark this occasion, I commissioned friend of the show, Vin, to come up with visual aids for all of our Pokemon on this show.
Oh, no. Did you? Oh, Jesus Christ.
We will post these visual aids on our Fine Time Podcast Twitter account for you to follow along with on your own time.
Oh, my God.
In the meantime, Andre and Kevin can go look in our Discord chat to see what we've come up with for poor Andre.
I'm so scared. I'm really scared.
So he also redrew some existing Pokemon just to mix it up.
I requested Vin draw all of the Pokemon on the list, real and fake, in his style.
I love it.
And he didn't tell you.
I'm kind of shell shocked by this, honestly. But here, let's do it. Okay, give me a Pokemon.
All right.
Here
Our first Pokemon is Pissimian.
Pissimian?
Pissimian.
Okay. So it looks like a coconut. Looks like we got a nice little skunk tail here. It looks vaguely, vaguely monkey-ish, a monkey bird, puppy monkey baby, if you will, not quite. I'm gonna say this is fake.
Final answer?
Final answer, fake.
Persimmon is a real Pokemon.
Oh, god damn it. Okay, fine. Jeez. Okay, well, what is it from? What game?
The 7th set, where they went to Hawaii.
What game? I don't know.
Sun and Moon.
Sun and Moon. Okay.
Where's the second one?
All right, give me... How many do we have, by the way?
10.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Lay it on me. Pokemon number 2.
Our second Pokemon is Nogard.
Okay. We got, oh, man. Look at them horns. This looks like a little devil. It looks like a Draki from Dragon Quest, only like... Very strange. What do you make of this one? I don't know if I should phone a friend in Kevin yet, but...
I feel like this one is fake. It's the wings are too little to be effective, but maybe.
There's a lot of Pokemon that don't make any damn sense. Okay, I am going to say this one's real.
You're saying Nogard is real?
Nogard is real. Final answer.
Nogard is fake.
Nogard is fake. God, it should be real.
Third Pokemon. Hacking.
Okay, obviously, I know Coughing and Wheezing, because Coughing is a hilarious Pokemon. Wheezing is the saddest Pokemon known to man. Just, it's so sad once he gets to Wheezing. It just makes me, Coughing is funny. Coughing, right? Like, it's so dramatic. Hacking. Yo, I want this to be real, so I'm just going to say it's real. Final answer.
Sadly, hacking is fake.
Oh man, they didn't have a third tier? Come on, man.
They made a British one with a big hat and sword and shield, but
ma'am, tipping my hat respectfully. Yeah, I remember.
But that was still a Wheezing.
We called him Wheezing instead of like ma'am. Yeah, that's fucking right. Okay.
All right, number 4.
Lay it on me.
Slurpuff.
Ooh. I'm sorry, say it.
Slurpuff.
Slurpuff. It has crazy eyes. It's pink. It looks like a cupcake. Just want to eat its little cheeks. I am going to say this is fake just because it looks like one of Vin's fantasy characters. I'm going to say fake.
Slurpuff is real.
Oh my god, no wonder. This is probably his new favorite Pokemon.
They've been around for a while on X and Y. They were in France, so there was supposed to be like a pastry dog.
I think you're 0 for 4 at this point.
Yeah, I don't think I've gotten a single one right. Jesus.
What are you asking? Sorry,
ask me. Can I ask you about? Okay, so are they literally France and England and stuff, or are they just based off of? And everyone just calls them that. Like,
you look at the world map, and they look very similar to.
So they're not literally. You're not literally.
And between buildings and things, we can infer, just like how the first 4 were different islands in Japan.
Okay, so
eventually they ran out of places in Japan to be, so...
Alright, Pokemon number 5. Maybe I'll get one right.
Vanillux.
This is great! Look at this thing! It looks like 2 ice cream cones fused together with like a straw. Oh, the faces. Oh, this is great. Jesus Christ. Kevin, this is delightful. I am going to say this. It's too good to be real because it's too cool. I'm going to say this is fake.
Vanillux is real.
Oh my god! I'm over 5. Jesus Christ!
He's from They're from Black and White, the one that's based off of New York, where I am, and he evolves from an ice cream cone, which evolves from a smaller ice cream cone. It's ridiculous.
Hold on. You're from New York?
No.
could never tell with that salacious accent, buddy. Oh man.
Hey yo, fuck you.
Hey, I'm just saying, man. I didn't say there's anything wrong with it. Just saying. Anyway, this is a delightful Pokemon. Maybe I should have played Pokemon Black and White, because Jesus.
All right, we ready for more?
Yeah, come on. Pokemon number 6.
Nicknat.
This is incredible. It's like a caterpillar, but its hands and feet have like little bushes on them, like little rose bushes. It pinches little bushes. Okay. What'd you say its name was? Knick-Knack?
Nicknat.
Nicknat. That seems real to me. I'm gonna say this Pokemon is real.
Nicknat is fake.
Oh my fucking god, Kevin. I'm gonna go for 10, aren't I?
The statistical chance of you getting them all wrong at this point is insane.
Yeah, like... Jesus.
I wonder if that's because I have pictures or what.
I mean, look, you have a good poker face, but like, my god, okay. Whew, okay. Keep going. Let's move on here. I'm gonna get one.
Hawkacopter.
It's Pokemon number 7, right? Hawkacopter. So we got like big flappy feet. We got little wings. Again, ineffective wings. Kevin doesn't like that. I don't know why I pinned that on you. And we got like... Okay, this... You know what? I'm gonna say this is fake. Final answer.
Hawkacopter is fake.
Oh my god, I got one right. I was like, okay, you know why I said this is fake? No bird Pokemon is actually this cool. All the bird Pokemon are like kind of crappy. So like this is an actual cool one. Like, so they would never have anything like this in the games.
That's not true. There was the ice and fire and electric ones out of the first games. Those ones were cool.
Those are like legendary Pokemon though, right? Like,
yeah, but they're birds.
Okay.
There's a lot of other neat birds they've made along the way. Maybe I'll
just take that bird slander and pack it up here.
I don't know.
Right.
Maybe I just feel like all of them are kind of Pidgeotto variations or something, but whatever. Anyway, okay, Pokemon number 8.
Heatmore.
Heatmore. Yo, I want this to be real. This is cool. This looks like a sloth, but like, if a sloth were cosplaying Heatman, this is great.
Kind of looks like he has a dick.
Yeah, 2 dicks actually. One's a little smaller one.
Double dick.
Double dick.
So is he real or fake?
Or is dicks real?
They're there in the picture.
I like the tail too. I'm gonna say this is fake. Heatmore is fake. Final answer.
Heatmore is real.
Oh my lord almighty. Okay, at least I didn't completely zero myself out. Jesus Christ. Okay, fine. Pokemon number 9. Let's bring it on.
Pyukumuku.
What the fuck is this? This looks like... Oh, those things gotta taste good, right? Those pink things on top of its... those are a delicacy, right? In France or wherever this thing is from. What'd you say its name was again? Sorry.
Pyukumuku.
I feel like this is fake. Final answer.
Not only is Pyukumuku real, he's probably my second favorite Pokemon.
Next to Mudkips.
I envision this one to evolve into the cow one, and it flips over, and that's the udders. Is there any accuracy to that?
All right,
this is incredible, by the way.
You ready for one more?
One more. Lay it on me. Let's see if I can get to 2 out of 10.
This one is called Orclips.
How could this not be real? Look at this. This is really scary. I mean, if I saw this under the ocean, I would scream for my life. But no one could hear me because I'm underwater, but... Oh my god. This is crazy. I'm going to say this. Again, I want this to be real, so I'm going to say this Pokemon is real. Final answer.
Not only is Orclips fake.
Oh my god.
No.
I didn't even make him up.
Okay.
I asked Vin to make one of them up, and that's what he did. That's what he came up with.
Wow. I can't believe
1
I got
out of 10.
so snaked. 1 out of 10, Kevin. I got one of these correct.
That's definitely a new record for the game.
We will be sure to share them on the main account. We will link to our friend, the show, the Sentai. Thank you so much again for doing this for me and for us. I think we had fun.
This was great. This was excellent. This this fucked me up. Wow. I knew I was gonna feel dumb, but Jesus Christ. I got 1 out of 10. That's incredible. Oh my god.
So do you think it was the pictures that were throwing you off, or what?
No, look, it's a 50-50
because you had a better
game.
shot the last time where you were just having names to guess off of.
Names don't really, I don't know. I feel like I got luckier last time, and I didn't really I don't know, even those I only got half right anyway, right? So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just looking at them and like I said, seeing the design, and I want it to be real. So I'm thinking with my heart, not my head. You know what I mean? But that's fine. I'll take my 1 out of 10 loss. Big time loss. God, that was bad, Kevin. Jesus Christ. I thought, if you were going to ask me beforehand, if I had known there's going to be pictures, I would be like, okay, I got to get half of them, right? I didn't even recognize any of these. So, anyway. Wow, maybe Vin is the next Sugiyami or whatever, Sugiyama, whatever that Pokemon drawer's name is.
Editor, people at home, the person Andre is referencing is Sugimori.
Sugimori. I knew I was correct. Ken Sugimori, right? Ken.
Yes.
Yeah. See, I knew Ken. You guys ever play? You probably haven't because it's so fucking obscure. But Smart Ball for SNES, it's one of those Game Freak games before Game Freak. Okay, Wait, I had that. No,
I played some kind of ball.
Okay, it's Smart Ball. Anyway, I had that for SNES, and I remember looking at a video of this game again recently. Once I found out it was developing, I was like, oh yeah, all the Game Freak tells are there. I just didn't know. You know what I mean? And Ken Sugimori was definitely in the credits, and all the other ones. It's interesting how much stuff they did before Pokemon. Anyway, that was great. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Vin. That fooled the fuck out of me. So mission accomplished. Okay. One more thing here before we get out of here. We wanted to talk about our favorite fourth wall breaking moments in games. Now, there's a lot of games that do this kind of thing or try to be cutesy about it, but there's just a couple that really stick in my head for the rest of time that I won't forget. And I was just wondering if the guys had any, and I guess they do. So I'll just go with one of mine first. My favorite one of all time is that there's a game for Dreamcast called Illbleed. You could call it a survival horror, but it's a very unusual kind of game. It's like you're almost going through a horror fun house or something, and you have a heart meter, and you can't get too scared because your heart will explode. So you have to keep yourself calm and not get scared too many times by traps or whatever. And it's a very, if that sounds weird, it is. It's a very strange game. But I think the third boss of the game, you get into the room, and it's this big mechanical thing, and it's coming towards you. It's huge, and then it starts smoking, and it starts breaking down, and the lights turn off it, and its head, I forget what it is. It was some sort of drag. I forget what it is. It's been too long. Its head sort of just goes down, and then someone comes over the speaker in the room, the overhead speaker, and says, "Hey, sorry about this, but this boss isn't working. How about you just go on and go to the next stage? Because we're not going to fix this for a while. So just go on. It's fine, you know." And that's it. The stage is over. It's great. You never actually fight that boss. It was so funny. And I don't know. I've never seen another game do that. This game came out 2000, 2001. I've never seen a game get that weird with it. But it's a very strange game. It fit the the tone of it perfectly. I don't know. I was so thrown by that. I thought, and back then, like, games didn't really get meta like that, so I just thought I did some sort of, like, I don't know, did I collect the right items to make this weird thing happen or something? No, that's just how the game is. So, I don't know. That's my favorite moment of all time, personally. What do you think, Steve?
Well, you know, I'm very fond of a game that no one's heard of ever called Earthbound. I don't know. I think it's pretty okay.
Are these all going to be Earthbound, Steve?
Well, they're all very closely related, so
Okay.
they're all mostly earlier. I don't know. I just like to choose where they know that they need to tell you these things, but they probably shouldn't. So you get the bat from your sisters, like, don't forget, you have to equip the item in order to use it. Hey, I'm just reading off a list down here. And then a little later on, you go to the library and you pick up a map. You can open the map at any time by pressing the X button. You know, the one near the top. And it's just dumb shit like that. There's the dogs that get possessed by the game designers that tell you other little things. The moles that tell you how battles work with... When the world around you turns red, that means bad shit's gonna happen. I don't know. It's just goofy. Even Mother 3, where they really should have known better by this point. There's a really weird running system, and they have a harder time putting this down in the most subtle way possible. So Lucas's grandpa's standing there like, Lucas, imagine something in your head called a B button. Hold it down for a second, then let go.
There was one game where, and I cannot remember what it is, but it may have even been like a Zelda game or something, where like someone says, "Oh, to do that, you just press the X button or whatever button it was." Oh, you don't know what an X button is? Don't worry, someone out there will know what I'm talking about, or whatever. And then like you just go on with it. But I don't remember what game did that.
Well, the Zelda game that really did that well was Link's Awakening, where you had those two kids playing ball outside the library, and they were giving you hints and things like that, and just out of nowhere, and they're like, "What am I talking about? I don't know. I'm just a kid," and you know it made sense, and it made sense in the context of the game because because it's the Windfish's dream, so of course there's going to be nonsense like that.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, I do remember that. Kevin, what's one you really like?
You know what? I've got a couple to go in a theme, interacting with the outside world. So the first one I've got is Animal Crossing, the original on GameCube. If it always wants you to save the game before you turn the console off. So if you don't do that, Mr. Rossetti, the asshole, will come out and yell at you for how you turned your console off. And I thought that was... I don't know.
Did I ever tell you guys that I got fucked up? Like, my first copy of Animal Crossing got caught in this endless loop of resetting the game.
No.
So, like, I didn't reset. I don't know what happened. Maybe I just turned it on one day and it's like, Mr. Rossetti was there. Oh, you didn't save? Okay, I guess I didn't. Whatever. As soon as he pops back into the ground, the game automatically reset on me. I thought it was some kind of joke. It did it, like... 7 or 8 times in a row. So I've seen like everything Rossetti has to say because my system fucked up. And it kept resetting over and over and over again. Every time he was done, he'd go back in the ground, the game would glitch and reset or something.
This is where I freely admit that I did this on purpose, where I just would see everything, or I really wanted to see everything he said, and I just didn't save a bunch because I really just wanted to see everything he said.
I actually took the game back to Target or wherever I got it from and got a new one because I thought my disc was fucked. I'd never heard of anyone having this problem before. It was weird, yeah. So I've seen the whole Rossetti spiels just because of that.
So then when you had the new disc, did it not do that then with the same save file?
No, I got a new memory card too. I started my game over. It had only been out for a few weeks, so it's not like I really was too far. You know what I mean? I didn't really care that much, but like, yeah. But I did have to start over because wow. Anyway, I just thought that was so funny.
Isn't Animal Crossing on GameCube special? Well, odd exception where it actually loads the whole thing in one shot.
Yeah, because it just
where
loads
you technically don't need the disc after everything loads.
Mm-hmm. Because the whole N64 ROM just fits right in there. So I don't know why it did that. It's weird. Anyway, Kevin,
I'm sorry.
No, say it.
Can we take a second and talk about dev rooms?
Oh, yes. Okay, so I'm sure everyone, because the internet exists now, everyone is familiar with the thing in Link to the Past where, like, you can glitch into a room with, like, a guy there and he has a bunch of rupees or something. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like,
yes.
Okay, this happened to me and my cousin, like, when the game first came out, so we didn't, you know what I mean? How the hell would we know? We just went down the hole in the mountain to go fight Ganon at the end, and then that happened to us. We fell into there. And we're like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? We freaked out. It's like, how did this happen? And then we tried to recreate it the whole time. It's like, okay, you went over here and you touched this, you threw this bush and you picked up this rock, and like how we kept trying to recreate it and we couldn't because obviously we didn't know how it worked. You know, but that was the only time. So I saw that room before we, you know, the internet, or we knew that was a thing.
Yeah, because I think the steps to do that were fairly complex.
It just happened to us, man. I don't know. Like I said, we tried to recreate it and we couldn't, obviously. So
the Chris Houlihan room, or O'Houlihan?
I don't remember the name of the person in there.
Houlihan was the kid's name, but
okay.
Early days of modern day internet, people were really figuring out how fucked up Link to the Past was, to the point where if you know what to do, you can just glitch through walls in Hyrule Castle in the first 15 minutes and walk straight to the Triforce at the end of the game.
That's why, like, I don't do speedruns, but I love watching a good tool-assisted speedrun, because I love watching some really wild shit that could never be possible with, like, actual human being. That stuff does intrigue me.
Well, you know that I will talk about Star Tropics every single chance that I get. So of course the letter that was in the case was a real father-son bonding moment for me when I was a little kid. Anybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about, you get to a certain point and the submarine you're using needs a certain code to be input. There was a physical letter inside the box that you take and you put underneath of water, and it will show up and say 747, and then you input that code in the game, which was, you know, on one hand was really cool and interesting, but I think was also probably a early example of unique DRM, because anybody that rented that game was obviously stalled out at that point, or anybody that originally downloaded it on Virtual Console when it came out.
Virtual Console had a virtual letter, though. That's how it
first came out. I know. I'm sure when that first came out, that was a problem, and they wound up patching that ROM.
Is that what happened? Because I remember always having it, but maybe I didn't get it right.
Virtual Console had a virtual letter in the instruction manual. Wii U and the NES Classic version had to patch up a version where the guy comes in tells you to dip the letter, tells Mike to dip the letter in water, and it says 737 on it.
What about Nintendo Switch Online?
Probably more of the same.
Because that's what I played it on, but I don't remember what I did. Well, that's what I beat it on recently, but I don't remember what happens. Anyway, but yeah, I wish there was another silly horror game out there like Illbleed to give me a funny thrill like that, or have a boss breakdown randomly. Every game, it should be mandated. Every game has a 1 in 100,000 chance of a boss just going kaput. How about that?
Remember when that did? Well, no, I guess that wasn't what happened in No More Heroes 1. That other guy beat you to it, where you just skipped the boss fight.
Oh yeah, I do remember that now. God, I gotta get those on Switch. I haven't played them since they came out. Do they hold up? I know you played them recently.
I'm gonna talk about them a bit more in depth when I play the third one, but yes, 1 and 2 hold up.
Okay, good. That's good to know. All right, guys, I think we've talked enough today. I'm sure you're sick of our ass, so we're out of here. You know what to do. Go to Twitter, Find Time Podcast, find us there. Find all 3 of our names in the bio of Find Time Podcast. Look in this podcast description to also find the same information. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye.